Okay, so let's dive into all this stuff you sent us on Kabbalah. Wow, it's a lot. Mystical interpretations, black magic, even celebrities.
Yeah, you weren't kidding. It seems like you're really looking for a balanced view, kind of the core ideas, what it can do, good and bad.
Yeah, exactly. Like some of these sources mention hidden codes in the Torah, the power of Hebrew letters. Can you believe that? That what we do, like right now, can somehow impact the divine realm.
It's definitely a mind-bending concept. That idea speaks to the relationship between humans and the spiritual, almost suggests a responsibility to act with a purpose, maybe even a higher purpose.
Right. And some of these videos, they just jump right in. You know, with stories of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai meditating in a cave for 13 years.
Yeah,
and with all these profound insights.
that story is a classic. It really gets at that mystical, secretive side of Kabbalah's beginnings and points to that idea of directly experiencing the divine.
Yeah, that seems to be a big theme running through a lot of this. Then there's the Zohar, this book that is like super important to Kabbalah, but no one even knows for sure who wrote it.
Right, and that's where we get the Ein Sof, the concept of God as like infinite and unknowable.
So how does that change how people think about their relationship with God?
Well, for some, it makes God seem distant, but for others, it's actually liberating, emphasizing the mystery at the heart of spiritual experience.
It definitely makes you think about things differently. The Zohar also has this idea of a cosmic catastrophe, vessels of divine light shattering and creating evil. Then tikkun olam, repairing the world. That seems to be a key idea in a lot of these sources.
It does. Imagine like piecing together a shattered vase. That's kind of like tikkun olam. Kabbalah suggests that when we act with intention and purpose, it helps to restore a kind of balance to the universe.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'm also seeing how Kabbalah has influenced other traditions, even Christianity and Renaissance philosophy. It's surprising how far-reaching something so secretive can be.
I know, it's fascinating. These ideas, they started in Jewish mysticism, but they've resonated across cultures and time. It just shows the power of these ideas, how they can influence even things that seem completely unrelated.
And then you have all this stuff about Kabbalah's view of language, especially the Hebrew alphabet.
Yeah.
One rabbi talks about meditating on Hebrew letters and having this incredibly moving spiritual experience.
Each letter is more than just a letter in Kabbalah. Each is a symbol with a much deeper meaning, with power.
Almost like each letter is a key that unlocks a door to a deeper reality.
Exactly. And it's not just about the intellectual understanding. Kabbalah stresses actually engaging in practices that can lead to a more profound connection with the divine. That experiential element comes up a lot.
Which reminds me of all the videos that warn about Kabbalah being used for bad stuff.
Right, because Kabbalah works with really powerful forces, and just like any tool, it can be misused. That's where you get the clip-pot, those forces that obscure divine light. It's like static on a radio. You can't hear the music clearly.
One rabbi compares it to a child being corrupted by the world and then turning towards really bad behavior.
Strong imagery. But the point is clear. Intention and ethical conduct are really important when you're exploring Kabbalah. If you don't have the right guidance, it can go wrong.
Yeah, it's like trying to fly a plane without knowing how to use the controls.
Exactly.
And then there's the whole celebrity thing. Some sources are pretty skeptical about celebrities getting into Kabbalah.
It's that concern about Kabbalah becoming too simplified, too commercialized. If you lose the context and the depth of the teachings, it can lead people down the wrong path, like following a map to a dead end.
Right, so we're starting to see this tension, keeping things secret versus making them accessible.
That tension has always been there, but modern interpretations are trying to bridge that gap. They focus on using these ancient teachings to help people in today's world to find meaning.
One rabbi compares our desires to a tiny pebble separated from a vast mountain. He's saying that Kabbalah can help us expand our desires to include so much more of what life has to offer.
It's like going from seeing a single grain of sand to seeing the entire beach. Kabbalah helps us see things from a larger perspective, to see how everything is connected, and to align ourselves with this flow of divine energy.
Wow, that's a lot to think about already. It's clear that Kabbalah is a lot deeper than I first thought.
And this is just the beginning. You've got a good overview from your sources, but there are always deeper layers to explore. It seems like a lot of your sources talk about how Kabbalah can be misused, even for something like black magic.
Yeah, some of these videos get pretty intense. One even compares accessing deeper spiritual knowledge to, like, entering the Holy of Holies in the temple, but with the blemish. They're saying you wouldn't survive.
That's a powerful image for sure. It really makes you stop and think. It shows how important it is to approach Kabbalah with respect, not just diving in without any thought.
Right. Another video talks about how we should acknowledge the darkness within ourselves, but not like obsess over it. Almost like we shouldn't be afraid to look at the shadows, but we shouldn't get stuck there either.
That's really important. Kabbalah is about accepting all parts of ourselves, the good and the bad. It's not about denying those darker impulses. It's about understanding them and choosing to align with the positive.
This idea of choice seems to come up a lot. One video makes a comparison between spiritual energy and technology. Both can be used for good or for bad.
That's a great analogy. It shows how power, whether it's spiritual or technological, is just neutral. It's what we do with it, our choices, that really matters.
Which brings us back to the whole celebrity thing. Some sources are really concerned about how all this attention might be distorting Kabbalah, making it seem like a quick fix for life's problems rather than a path of actual spiritual growth.
It's a valid concern. We see this in a lot of spiritual traditions today. People are looking for easy answers. But the real teachings of Kabbalah, they emphasize inner transformation and understanding our place in the universe, not manipulating things just for personal gain or fame.
So how do we reconcile these seemingly opposing views? On the one hand, we've got these warnings about the dangers of Kabbalah, even black magic. And on the other, there's this emphasis on the divine spark within each of us and our ability to influence the divine through our actions.
I don't think it's about picking a side. It's about understanding how complex this tradition is. Kabbalah offers a way of understanding the universe and the spiritual forces at work. But it's up to each person to approach these teachings with a sense of discernment and respect, recognizing both its potential and the responsibility that comes with exploring this kind of knowledge.
One source says that the real danger isn't the teachings themselves, but the mind of the person using them. Like if we focus on the negative, we're actually giving it more power.
That's a really insightful point. Fear and negativity can become self-fulfilling prophecies. But when we focus on positivity and trust in the divine, we can diminish the hold that darkness has on us.
That reminds me of Tzimtzum, the idea that God had to contract or withdraw a part of himself to create space for the universe. It's like suggesting that emptiness or limitation can actually be a source of creativity.
Tzimtzum is a powerful metaphor. It suggests that even within the infinite, we need boundaries. It's about balance, expansion, and contraction. Think of it like an artist who leaves blank space on a canvas. That emptiness is what lets the image emerge.
And this idea of the void keeps coming up. One video describes Ein Sof as a kind of divine nothingness. Another one talks about how true power comes from recognizing the state of our souls before we were born, before we got caught up in our desires and ego.
We often see the void as something to be afraid of, but in a lot of spiritual traditions, it's seen as a source of infinite potential. Everything comes from that emptiness. And when we face our own emptiness, we can tap into a deeper creativity. We can connect with the source of all things.
One video compares it to a teacher withholding information from a student, to help them learn and grow. It's about creating space for something new.
That's a big part of a lot of spiritual practices. Letting go of control, surrendering to something larger than ourselves. When we release our attachment to certain outcomes, we can open ourselves to possibilities we might never have imagined.
So instead of looking at limits as obstacles, we can see them as chances for growth, even invitations to connect with something bigger than ourselves.
Absolutely. We can embrace limitations as a natural part of the creative process, because within every constraint, there's a new possibility waiting to be discovered.
Another thing that comes up a lot is this idea that what we experience in the physical world is just the tip of the iceberg, that there's this deeper spiritual reality beneath the surface.
That's really central to Kabbalah. It wants to go beyond what we can see and sense, to uncover the hidden forces that are working in the universe. It's about recognizing that our senses give us a limited view of reality.
Which ties into the whole fascination with codes and symbols, especially in the Torah and the Hebrew alphabet.
The Torah is seen as a multi-layered text in Kabbalah, like a tapestry woven with all these secret meanings and divine energies. Each letter, each word is a kind of portal to a deeper reality. And through practices like meditation, contemplation, and mystical techniques, Kabbalists try to unlock those secrets and tap into the power of language.
And that idea of language having a transformative power, it reminds me of a video that talked about cosmic order and the evolution of energy into matter. Like, If we understand these hidden codes, we can somehow affect the flow of energy and maybe even change reality itself.
That's a fundamental concept in Kabbalah. The universe is constantly evolving, and our actions have a ripple effect on the cosmos. By understanding language and aligning ourselves with the divine will, we can actually participate in creation.
Wow, that's a lot of responsibility. So it's not just that we're observing the universe, it's that we're helping to create it.
Exactly. We have the power to contribute to the harmony of the universe, but we also have the power to mess things up if we're not careful.
Speaking of divine purpose, one of the most fascinating things about Kabbalah is the idea of the Shekinah, the feminine aspect of God. It really challenges the traditional idea of God as solely masculine.
Right. The Shekinah represents God's presence in creation, the divine feminine energy. It's often seen as the bride of the masculine God. It's a dynamic interplay of forces within the Godhead itself. It really emphasizes the need for balance and integration, not just within us, but in reality itself.
And the Shekinah is really tied to the fate of Israel, which seems to create a strong link between the spiritual and physical realms.
Yeah.
Like the actions of the Jewish people have a direct impact on the harmony of the universe.
That reflects the importance of the covenant between God and Israel in Jewish thought. It also emphasizes the idea of collective responsibility, that the things we do have consequences, not just for us, but for the entire community, even for the cosmic order.
That's a powerful and maybe a little intimidating concept. It reminds us that we're all interconnected and our actions have a ripple effect.
We are. We're part of a much larger web of life, a cosmic tapestry. Our choices, our actions, they affect not just our own lives, but the lives of others and even the fabric of reality itself.
So it sounds like exploring Kabbalah is about more than just learning some ancient teachings. It's about understanding the universe and our place within it. It's a journey of self-discovery, but it's also a call to action, a reminder that we're not just observers, but active participants in this whole process of creation.
Beautifully said. Kabbalah gives us a way to see the world, to describe how spiritual forces interact. It's a path of transformation, but it's also a journey of responsibility. We're called to align our actions with divine purpose and work towards healing the world.
One video actually compares Kabbalah's approach to the Torah as uncovering the Father's nakedness, which is usually seen as a huge taboo. It's like they're trying to look into the deepest mysteries of God.
That's an interesting interpretation. It shows how Kabbalah can be seen as pushing the boundaries, maybe even overreaching, trying to grasp something beyond our understanding. There's a fine line between seeking knowledge and respecting the limits of what we can know.
But it does seem like that desire to know, to understand the mysteries of God, is really at the heart of Kabbalah.
It is. Kabbalah is driven by that thirst for knowledge and a desire to experience the divine. But, as we've seen, it's important to approach this quest with humility and a lot of respect for the forces we're dealing with.
Another thing that stood out to me is how much Kabbalah emphasizes the transformative power of suffering, which seems to go against our natural instinct to avoid pain.
Kabbalah sees suffering as an essential part of life. It's not something to fear, but a chance to grow.
One rabbi even describes the shattering of the vessels, that cosmic catastrophe we talked about, as a kind of tough love. Like it was the shock that was necessary to force us to confront our limits and seek deeper truth.
It might sound extreme, but it reflects this belief that even within darkness there's a spark of light, a potential for redemption. Suffering can break us open, shatter our illusions and make us face those deeper questions about existence.
That makes me think of teshuvah, repentance or return. It's about recognizing our mistakes and trying to realign ourselves with divine will.
Exactly. And teshuvah isn't about punishment. It's about transformation, turning back towards the light. We acknowledge our flaws, not to dwell in them, but to grow and heal from them.
So even when things are really difficult, Kabbalah gives us a way to move forward, to find meaning and purpose.
That's right. It reminds us that we're not alone in our struggles. There's a divine force within us guiding us towards wholeness. And even when we stumble or fall, we can always return, reconnect with that source of our being.
That idea of returning to the source makes me think of devikut, the idea of cleaving to God. Some sources describe that as the ultimate goal of Kabbalah.
Devikut is about experiencing God's presence all the time. It's not about escaping from the world, but experiencing the sacredness of everyday life. It's about seeing that spark of divinity within us and in everything around us.
It sounds almost indescribable, something you can only experience. But it's also connected to tikkun olam, isn't it? It suggests that our personal journeys are tied to this bigger idea of healing and restoring creation.
You're absolutely right. Kabbalah teaches that our personal transformation is inseparable from the well-being of the world. When we heal ourselves, we help to heal others. And as we draw closer to God, we bring God's presence into the world, creating a greater harmony and wholeness.
So Kabbalah is about more than just personal enlightenment. It's about engaging with the world and taking responsibility for our actions and working to create a more just and compassionate reality.
Yes, exactly. Kabbalah reminds us that we're all part of a vast, interconnected web of life. Our actions, our intentions, even our thoughts, they all contribute to the energy of the universe. And it challenges us to become conscious co-creators, using our understanding to make a positive impact on the world, to heal the world, and to draw closer to the divine.
That's a powerful concept. One thing that I've noticed is how much Kabbalah emphasizes this cyclical understanding of time. It's different from our usual linear way of thinking.
Right. Kabbalah sees time as a spiral, always returning to the same point, but on a higher level of understanding. It's not about escaping time, but understanding how everything works in cycles. The ebb and flow of energy, the patterns of creation and destruction, it's all woven into the fabric of the universe.
One rabbi even suggests that our birthdays are opportunities to, tap into the potential we had at birth, to re-energize our connection with the divine.
That's a beautiful way to look at it. Birthdays become about renewal, about reconnecting with the source of our being and realizing the potential within us.
And that connects with Kabbalah's focus on a positive mindset, that we are always evolving and aligning with divine purpose.
Exactly. Kabbalah reminds us that we're not static. We are dynamic beings with the potential for infinite growth and transformation. We're not limited by our past. We're defined by our potential to learn and grow and become who we were meant to be.
It's like our own personal tikkun olam. We are constantly refining and repairing ourselves.
Exactly. And as we do that, we contribute to a greater harmony in the world around us.
So it's not just that we're studying these ancient texts, it's that we're engaging with a living tradition that wants us to evolve and grow.
You got it. Kabbalah is about self-discovery, but it's also a call to action. It's about recognizing that we're part of a grand cosmic plan.
And one of the videos suggests that the goal of Kabbalah is about more than just understanding the universe. It's about actively participating in it, like becoming conscious co-creators with the divine.
That's a powerful idea. It implies that we are not just watching this unfold. We are influencing it, shaping it with our choices, intentions, even our thoughts. It's about understanding that our actions have consequences on a cosmic level.
It's both amazing and a little scary, right? Like being handed a paintbrush and being told, okay, you can contribute to the masterpiece, but don't mess it up.
It is a delicate balance. It's about having confidence, but also humility. We have to recognize both our power and our limitations. And Kabbalah teaches that true wisdom is about surrendering our ego's desire for control and allowing ourselves to be guided by something bigger than us.
One of the videos talks about it like a dance between human will and divine will. It's not about losing ourselves or becoming like robots. It's about aligning our desires with a higher purpose, letting our talents and passions be guided by something beyond their understanding.
It's a beautiful image. It's a reminder that we're not alone in this. There's a divine partner guiding and supporting us, leading us toward a greater wholeness.
So it's about embodying these teachings, letting them change us from the inside out, and then expressing that transformation through the things we do in the world.
You got it. It's about becoming living examples of divine wisdom, radiating love, compassion, and understanding. It's about seeing our interconnectedness and using this understanding to bring about healing and wholeness for everything.
This has been an incredible deep dive. We've covered so much. Mystical origins, potential dangers, hidden codes, even a cosmic market correction. What do you think is the most important thing we can take away from all this?
I think it's the emphasis on this dynamic relationship between humanity and the divine. Kabbalah doesn't present a God who is distant and aloof. It invites us to participate in this cosmic dance. We have to recognize our interconnectedness and our own inherent divinity and our power to influence the energy of the universe. But it requires humility, discernment, and a deep sense of responsibility.
I totally agree. It's that realization that we're not just watching the show, we are part of the show. It's both empowering and a little humbling, I think.
And as you continue to explore Kabbalah, I encourage you to approach these teachings with an open mind. But also, be discerning. Let the wisdom unfold naturally, trusting that the path will reveal itself when the time is right.
That's great advice. It feels like this is a journey that we're starting, a spiral path that leads us upward, revealing new insights as we go.
And who knows what you might find along the way. Like the Kabbalists say, the universe is constantly evolving, and so is our understanding of it. And maybe the most important lesson of Kabbalah is that the journey itself is the destination.
As we've been talking, one thing that keeps coming back to me is how much Kabbalah emphasizes love and compassion. It's not just about, being nice to people. It seems to go a lot deeper than that.
Yeah, you've hit on something really important. Kabbalah teaches that love is more than just an emotion. It's this fundamental force that connects everything in the universe. It's the energy that flows through everything, and it connects us back to that divine source.
One rabbi even calls love the language of God.
Yeah.
Like it's the most powerful force for bringing healing and harmony to the world.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It reminds us that love isn't just a human feeling, it's a divine attribute, an expression of God's essence. And when we cultivate love and compassion in ourselves, we become channels for that energy to flow. And that helps to create wholeness for everyone.
And that idea of being a channel, it connects with Devakut, right? That idea of cleaving to God. Some sources describe that as the ultimate goal of Kabbalah.
Right. Dvaikut isn't about escaping the world. It's about experiencing the divine in every single moment, in every relationship. It's about realizing that we are not separate from God, but expressions of God's infinite love and creativity.
One rabbi even talks about it as a state of oneness, where the boundaries between you and everything else just disappear. And there's this profound sense of interconnectedness.
It's a state of transcendence, but it's also about being fully present in the world, experiencing the divine within ourselves and in everything around us. It's about recognizing that spark of divinity in every person, in every living being, in everything.
And that brings us right back to Tikkun Olam, right? Recognizing that spark and working to heal and restore creation. Our personal journeys, it's like they're tied to this bigger task of healing the world.
You got it. That's one of the most important teachings of Kabbalah. Our own transformation is connected to the well-being of everything else. As we heal ourselves, we help to heal the world around us. And as we draw closer to the divine, we help to bring that divine presence into the world, creating greater harmony and wholeness.
So Kabbalah is not just about personal enlightenment. It's about taking responsibility for our actions and working to make the world a better place.
Yes. It reminds us that we are not isolated individuals, but part of this vast web of life. Our actions, our intentions, even our thoughts, they all have an impact. And Kabbalah challenges us to become conscious co-creators. We can use our understanding of these powerful forces to bring about positive change in the world, to heal the world, and to draw closer to the divine.
One thing that I've noticed is how much Kabbalah emphasizes this idea that it's not a static set of rules, but a living tradition that is always changing and adapting.
That's right. Kabbalah is not rigid. It's a dynamic and evolving body of wisdom that has been reinterpreted throughout history. It's about taking these ancient teachings and making them relevant to people today, applying them to modern life.
One video calls Kabbalah a technology of consciousness. Like it gives us tools for understanding and transforming ourselves, for becoming more aware, and for aligning with a divine purpose.
I love that, because Kabbalah is not just a theory, it's practical. It's a guide for living a more meaningful life. It gives us ways to be mindful, manage our emotions, heal from our pain, and connect with something larger than ourselves.
It's like our own personal tikkun olam, right? Repairing and refining ourselves from the inside out.
Yes. And as we do that inner work, we naturally contribute to creating more harmony in the world around us.
So Kabbalah helps us understand not just the universe, but our own unique purpose within it. It encourages us to see all of our experiences, the good and the bad, as opportunities for growth and transformation, and for deeper connection to the divine.
It's a reminder that we're not just random beings in a random world. We are souls on a journey, and each one of us plays an important part in a much larger plan.
This deep dive into Kabbalah has been amazing. We've explored so much: mystical origins, the power of language, a cosmic market correction. And honestly, it feels like we've only scratched the surface.
We have, but your exploration has given you a really good foundation and a glimpse into the richness of this tradition. It's a journey of discovery, and the more you explore, the more you'll find.
It's like we've been given a map and a compass, and now it's our turn to go out and explore.
Exactly. And don't worry about getting lost. Sometimes the most important discoveries happen when we wander off the path a little and let ourselves be surprised.
That's encouraging. It makes me excited to keep learning and see where this all leads.
And remember, Kabbalah is a living tradition. It's not just about studying the old texts. It's about bringing those teachings to life. Explore different interpretations, see what speaks to you, and see how you can integrate this wisdom into your life.
That's great advice. Thank you so much for guiding us through this deep dive. I know I want to explore Kabbalah more.
It's been my pleasure. Kabbalah offers endless possibilities for growth and understanding. I have a feeling your exploration will bring you amazing insights and experiences.